Welcome everybody to day 18 of NaNoWriMo and episode 18 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. I will confess, and you might have noticed by both the kind of late start to the stream and just me kind of fumbling around with some of the kind of banners and graphics. Today's been a tough day. The kind of a dear friend of ours passed away, and just kind of back from seeing them off. And so, yeah, just trying to get my head back into the story for today's session. So bear with me as I try to get on top of things. So I'm just going to move my seat so I'm sitting a bit better, I think, for the screen. I'm going to tilt that a bit more. Okay, so the way we left things yesterday was that our four heroes were being chased or being pursued by, I gotta remember their names, the Zwari, which were the mist creatures. And they, sorry, just adjusting that slightly. It ended up with them kind of failing to escape. I think they had just bought themselves some time. So I think they're still being pursued. I know Jasan, I think, was kind of exhausted and being carried by Vika. And yeah, so they're trying to, I'm going to assume they're trying to get back to the Guardians, to kind of meet up with the Guardians, and also to kind of get back to their ship so they can get back to Beacon. And at the same time, the followers are after Vika, because we discovered in our flashback yesterday that Vika is an Arcanobot who they were created during the time of wonder and have become kind of autonomous and almost their own kind of race, where they were kind of taking care of themselves, repairing themselves. And I think they carry within them immense knowledge and information. And the Vika is one of the few that's left that we know of. So, we always got to hold on hope that there might be more out there. So what I'm trying today, just again, because of family circumstances, I didn't get to modify the tiles the way I had hoped in preparation for today's session to test out some of the other ideas John's been working on in terms of kind of ongoing series. So what I'm doing is I picked out the first tile, and I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to try and set, it's actually, yeah. So I'm going to start it with us being pursued by the mist creatures. And I'm going to cheat it a little bit, I think. And say we did get outside into the forest in the mountains of, I think it's Mimosa, Malassa. And we're being pursued by the creature. So instead of it targeting someone usually mysterious, it's targeting, they are pursuing us, which is a cheat. And it may affect the structure of the story, but I'm going to play through it and see what happens. I did also intentionally pick a tile here. So I removed all the ones that would say we had a dark secret. And oh, hang on, I just thought that could be really interesting, actually. I'm not going to do it for now, though. So it is only going to apply to the characters. No, there is one, actually, I am going to change it, because there's one in particular that would be really interesting if it came out for us. So I think it'd be really interesting if we had potentially an evil ally. I'm sure not under the wrong screen. So if this one came out, so I'm going to take that one, shuffle it in with all of the ones that only target the threat shuffle them in. And the reason why I'm putting that one in is because there is an implication. And I just realized, again, I've got two screens up and I was showing you things, but I didn't actually have the proper view up for showing you. Oh, I know that's what's wrong. Hang on. Yeah, bear with me. I gotta change that to OBS. There. Oh, my brain is so not with it today. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that off so we can see everything that's happening. So basically, shuffle these so that they would have interesting outcomes for us, no matter what happens. So I'm gonna say the episode opens in the forest in the Molossian Mountains, and we're being pursued by the mist, the Zwari, who are the mist creatures. So we tried throwing some kind of dust at them, like some earth at them, to try and absorb the kind of water, and it didn't work, but it scared them enough. So, and I think we then, because we did that, we fired some. So we tried that. We tried there's like some canister of compressed air or something that we tried to use, and it didn't work. I don't think we were able to get it open in time. So it opens and we're running through the forest and we're being chased by these mist creatures who are kind of like ethereal, and they yeah, I think so. Literally, I think our heroes are shouting at each other like, "What are we gonna do?" And because I don't know what to do, and I'm kind of thinking they don't know what to do. There's a mist creature chasing after them, so like throwing the axe and stuff isn't going to help them. I think they need to. So I think they need like heat or earth. I don't think. Well, wind might work. So I think they're just going to have to keep running as fast as they can and hope they can get back to the ship. So they're going to, keep running to see if they can run them. Let's see. Okay, so yes, they managed to keep ahead, and I think they've bought some time. And I think Eleanor turns to Vika and says, "Vika, can you access your memories? Is there anything you know about the Zwari that can help us? Surely there must be something there." So second question, see if Vika's going to check and see if they can find anything. Oh, yes. And so I'm going to roll the story cubes to give me some ideas. So he does know something. So I think as they're running, like Vika starts kind of recounting this information, and says that they were. So it's interesting here because we're at the Bazee. So I think the Bazee. I've got an idea. So the Bazee have records of these as kind of creatures that come and kind of steal, kind of like come and haunt in the middle of the night. And they have developed, I think, wards to keep them away. So I'm going to shift the dice view. So I think they've learned, so I'm going to use this as a way of kind of controlling them or keeping them at bay. So, but they're the Vika, they appear in Bazee lore as these kind of mysterious creatures that appear, and over the years they have developed. I think they're going to say there's a plant. I don't like a plant. So yeah, so I'm going to say there's a plant that's called the firethorn. I think. Just gonna make it up. So I think a firethorn is a type of plant. And that when you, I think literally it's kind of like really dry, and when you crack it, it basically sparks and ignites. So it's often used for kind of kindling, but it has been, that's what traditionally they would have used to kind of ward off the Zawari. So I think they're going to immediately search them, because this is the Melissa Mountains. It's the home of the Bazee. I think they are going to just change this over here. I think they just immediately start kind of scanning for this. So yeah, I think gotta remember all the names. I think Dimona basically says to Vika, well, can you tell us what it looks like? And can you help us find some? So I think they're going to search for some of that. No, they do not find any. And while they're searching, I think I'm trying to think. I think they actually stumble across some Bazee who are in the forest, and they say, child, or children, what are you doing here in Bazee territory? And I think they look at Vika as well and recognize his kind of heritage or legacy. So I think, I'm trying to think what question I ask. I think, so I'm not really going to bother with questions right now, because we're kind of like straight into action, I think. So I'm going to ask, see the Vika, we're being chased by Zawari, and we're trying to find, we're just asking to help. We're being chased by Zawari. Please help us. And let's see how they respond. Okay, they agree and they step forward. And I think they pull out some, I'm going to use my idea token. No, I don't need to. So I think they step forward and they pull out some of this firethorn, and they actually load it into, I think they crack it and they kind of load it into like what almost looks like a kind of like a blunderbuss or a musket that has a bellows attached to it. So they kind of drop it in the top, and then yeah, maybe like a bagpipe, and they kind of squeeze the bellows, and it causes this like burst of flame to come out, and there is a kind of a squeal as the Zawari just kind of evaporate and disappear. Okay, so we discover though that they have an evil master. So then I don't think it would be the Bazee because they've helped us. So I think I think the Bazee step forward. I'm still trying to work this out. So I think the Bazee step forward and say, "Children of Beacon, you, whilst your elders and your people have not shown good faith with the Bazee, we ask for your help. We will not leave you stranded for the whenever there are Zawari, it means, and they're going to tell us that there is someone behind this. So I think it is. So I'm going to think aloud. The icons immediately aren't kind of telling me anything. So I'm going to use them as a kind of a name for something, I think. So they, okay, so I think they, I don't know why, but basically this icon keeps grabbing my attention, and I guess the cactus are a thing out of desert and dry. So the again, I'm just turning around, but there's something about this that really grabs my attention. So I think the they are controlled by the okay, so I'm going to say they're controlled by the I want to say like the deserted, or that's kind of a weird clunky name. The dry, I'm trying to think. My brain hurts. The dry desert. I don't know what they are. I think it's a mysterious person. So it's going to be a character. No, I think they're a mysterious tribe or group. And they are the I'm going to say the Dryans. Okay, desert, dry. Yeah, I think the Dryans. So I'm going to ask, because I really don't know, Who are the Dryans? Okay, they are. So I think they are also residents of the Malassa Mountains, but they are kind of longtime enemies of the Bazee. That they have been kind of engaged in struggles with each other for many years. And they have access to kind of mysterious powers, and I think they're led by a very strange kind of leader. Yeah, and basically the Bazee have been trying to kind of spent many generations trying to contain them within the Malassa Mountains. So it's really concerning that Rory was actually seen in Beacon. So they've been trying to. It's been kind of like their secret mission, not a mission, but they've been doing this for generations. And when I think Damon is like, but why? How do we not know about this? We're not taught this in school. And the Bazee said, well, you never took the time to ask. Why do you think we don't want the weapons? When we ask for help from Beacon, it's not for ourselves. It's to enable to protect ourselves against the Dryans, who are like under of Malassa Mountains. Who pose a constant threat. So I'm going to ask, well, what threat do they pose? Or like, why right now? Why are why are the Zwaari active right now? Okay. So I think they have been kind of watching the events unfold, the disappearance of the council, and how I think Beacon has been weakened, and so despair, is growing stronger. And they're using this as an opportunity to kind of strike out, and I think spread, don't strike out and spread beyond the borders of the Malassa Mountains, and I think spread their message. So I'm gonna ask, well, what is their, so what message are they trying to spread? So they're basically using this time of kind of intense uncertainty to I think strengthen their grip and expand out beyond the containment that the Bazee have in place for them. So what's their message? So let me see, is that pushing it too far? I think they I think they point to a time of kind of nothingness, that essentially kind of all action is kind of meaningless, and that, excuse me, I think they represent the times of kind of apathy, and are kind of left over from that time where, yeah, their kind of belief system is that there is no need or no point to take action, because things are just going to happen anyway. And we should let life take its course. And I actually think that the catacombs we have just been in belonged to them. So the busy explained, I think the catacombs that we've come from, are we asked, so that place we're in, the catacombs, is that, belonging to them? And they say yes. And I think they are, so I say this is something about the kind of void. They want to push people towards that kind of void of nothingness. So it's not even, well, apathy is, yeah, there's no point in taking, like, despair is kind of, I guess, the absence of all hope, and apathy is the precursor to that. So I think their plan is to kind of spread the word and kind of like sow the seeds, so to kind of spread the interest in the kind of the word of apathy. So we still got to get out of here, though, I think. So we've been told about this, but we want to, I think we need to get back to this. So I think with the Bazi's help, we make it. So I think we managed to escape with the Bazi's help. We managed to escape, and we get back to Beacon. And we tell the council about the plans, about what we've learned about the Dryans and the Zwari. And I think one of the so I'm looking at these. So we get back, and I think the so what are they going to be called? The I think I'm trying to put it into. Sorry, my brain isn't fully functioning. I'm trying to get the words out. So I think there's somebody. I'm kind of looking at these two who, aside from the Guardians, who are like the, I guess the kind of martial aspect of Beacon and the kind of protectors of hope. There are the people who kind of watch for the transition between the phases, so they kind of watch the flow of time, and they, or maybe do that because of the river. So they are the what would they be called? I kind of want to say watchers, but again, that's not great. I think they are the are they trackers, watchers? The okay, it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to, I think I'll call them the streamers, who they basically observe the flow and shift of the Great Mokon. Not a great title, but I'll come up with something later. So I think we're going to see the council when one of the streamers kind of stops us before we enter the chamber and puts their hand up and says, I strongly suggest you do not utter. They say, we heard about your encounter with the Bazee, and the stories, the rumors they spread about these other about apathy. It's all lies. They're making up. They have a bone to pick with Beacon and have done so for many a long time. It is in your best interest, I tell you that now, to say nothing about your conversation with them. And I think I said, well, like, why? Why should we stay quiet? I think we're getting a bit fed up with people telling us what to do. So they say that I'm going to give this person a name, I think, because I'm looking at some of the icons there. So I think Carnu, who is a streamer in Beacon, they say the Bazee are kind of fools that they. Sorry, I'm gonna make this bigger actually. They say the Bazee are fools. They don't know what they talk about. They believe in magical and mystical things, and we can't have that kind of poisoning the minds of the people of Beacon. Not when the balance between despair and hope is so tightly kind of like intertwined. Yeah. Do we? So I'm going to kind of flip this the same way. So they're threatening us. Well, I think we're going to try and I think we push past into the chamber. Yeah, I think we're going to just push past and see what happens. No. But I think so I'm going to go back to top view. So no, but we don't push past. I think so. I think Naruna is not Naruna. Karnu is kind of. I think he turns to follow us. So we try to push past, and he kind of bars our way and says, "I'm giving you one last warning. Drop this now, for your sake, because it would be really unfortunate for you to get suspended for spreading kind of false lies and rumors about things that aren't real. Imagine how your kind of families would react." And I think as he's doing that, so we've got the anger. I think Farg was Farg appear. No, I think Omax opens the door of the chamber and looks at Karnu, and immediately his face sours. I don't think they got on with each other at all, and he it's like, "Karnu, shouldn't you be off, like, gazing into pools of water or something? So the children are here to see the council." And so I think Karnu steps aside, and the children and our heroes do go into the chamber. So I'm gonna ask how. So I think we are going to. Kind of nervous now because we have been told kind of multiple times to keep our heads down. This is yet another occasion. So I think we're going to hedge our bets a little bit. And try and get. I think our heroes are going to try and gauge. I think they're going to actually, as they come in, they're going to collectively summon their Mokon of Trust to indicate that they are speaking from, a place of kind of openness and not trying to hide anything. So I think, and see if that can kind of win over the council. Okay, so I think the council respond and say, okay, students, we are aware of the help that you provided to Narana and the help you provided in our rescue from the clutches of the bringers, and your bravery. We can see that you come with open hearts and open minds. Tell us, what is it you wish to speak to us about? And we tell them what the Bazi said to us about the group, the Dryads, and their plans, how the Zawari are kind of part of theirs, and that their plans to essentially kind of like spread the word of apathy and almost like skip the time of hope. So they want to roll things backwards to the time of apathy, instead of it moving forward, which is the natural progression to the time of hope. So we tried to explain that to them and see, how they respond. So I think we want to gain their. We try to persuade them to kind of believe what we're saying. No. But okay. I think so. We don't manage to persuade them, and I'm gonna kind of flip this the opposite way because it's positive. I'm gonna say, but at least they don't laugh at us. They. I think they know about the Dryans. They said, yes, the Dryans and the Busy, they've been kind of like at each other's throats for years. The Busy are always, seem to look for someone to fight with. But we accept that something serious is going on in the Melissa mountains. I think we've seen that with our own two eyes, considering that the Bringers have a foothold there as well. So I think they are going to. So I think we asked them what are they going to do about it. Okay. So I think, again, this kind of makes me think of the Temple of Snal. I said I think the Temple of Snal is located closer to the Melassa Mountains. So the monks, we've asked the monks to approach the Busy and kind of engage in talks with them to see if they can stem the spread. No, and I think they're going to literally, I think, to see if they can spot a rat. They're going to send. So some of the Temple of Canal are going to go and meet with the Busy. And I think to see if they can kind of like sniff out what's really going on and see if they can spot a rat. So do we try to tell them about no, I don't think we want to do anything. So I think they do that. So they do agree that they're going to do something. So they're kind of taking this a little bit more seriously. So we discover, though, that Carnu has some kind of, he's up to something else. Do you know what? I want to meet someone who's a good guy sometimes, who's just like wants to help us. So I think Carnu is secretly what are they? I don't think they want to bring about apathy, but I think it's that kind of quest for knowledge. I think so. I'm using this as kind of like apathy or the absence. So I think they are studying they're in league with the Dryads, I think. So they have a secret agenda. Yeah, I think they want to kind of learn about them and basically learn more about apathy and discover apathy's kind of resting place right now, because despair walks the land, hope is encased in the crystal. We don't know where wonder or apathy are located at the moment. So I think Karna wants to discover the source of, let's call it the source of apathy. And and we discover that because kind of shortly after the meeting, we hear that Carnu has left. I think we inquire about Carnu, and we discovered that they have actually recently left on a trip to the Malassa Mountains. And they are traveling with a kind of mysterious... No. Yeah, and I think the conditions under them leaving are quite mysterious. So I think we inquire a little bit more. We kind of ask the other streamers, who, again, they're kind of like the watchers from Marvel. I think they kind of observe the flow of time, and they're not really meant to get involved in things. We talk to them, and they say that the Bazee had actually sent them a warning, and they told us, the Bazee told us about the link between the Zwari, this creature that infiltrated Beacon, and who you encountered in the catacombs, and they sent us a warning that the Dryans have become active again, which for the streamers is alarming. Like, so soon for them to be active, it's not quite right. And so Carnu offered, eagerly offered to go and investigate the matter. So they so I think in the final showdown, so this should be kind of, again, I don't trust Carnu. I think we need to go and, I think, at least alert the Bazee. So I think. So, and actually, Eleanor has gotten to know someone there, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to look back to my list of characters. Urza. Okay. So I think what I'm going to say is that in terms of location, our heroes are going to. So I think they grab a ship, and I think they convince. So I think the first thing to do is actually we're going to try and convince Omax, maybe, to that we need to go back to the Malassa Mountains. Okay, so he does. But I think he's saying then, but you have to listen to me, and respect my kind of judgment, whilst we're there. So follow orders. Okay, so we head back to the Malassa Mountains with the and whilst we're there, so as we arrive in, we're able to track Carnu. I think we're traveling faster than them, and I think as we get there, we get a call. So just trying some different things here. See what icons I have. I want to keep that one for later. So I can bring something from the previous ones. I think we get a call. No, I think we let as we're flying, we're basically signaling Carnu, who is warning us to not meddle in affairs that you don't understand, and that he has he tells us he has the blessing of the council. I imagine you're here without permission, and if you don't turn back, I will report you. And I think this is as we're kind of we're flying closer to the mountains. So Carnu is warning us yet again, and they have. I think they've taken. He says he's taken the liberty to kind of research, each and every one of us, and kind of says, I don't think any of your families would like to know, to hear how you had been disgraced and kind of expelled from, within the first term of your training at the academy. I think as we keep him talking, Omax is kind of keep him talking, and he's tracking him as we get closer. And I think we tried to persuade him to tell us what, just tell us what's really going on, what you're really up to. And he's just, nope, not going to do that. He says, I'm purely here at the request of the streamers to follow up on the disease, warning about the Dryans. Now turn back. And I think Omax says, I'm afraid I can't do that. And as he comes into land, I think there's like a burst of color, and the I think like a burst of color, a bolt comes out, and no, it's not a burst of color. I think again, it's kind of like a cloud, a mist, kind of shoots out from within the forest and wraps around the ship and starts to pull it down to the ground. So it's nothing we've seen before. It looks like, again, kind of something magical. That's why I'm using that symbol to denote it. And I think when we get there, we see I don't think these are going to be humanoid. I think they are. They are. Those are other insects. I think they're more. Suggest they're kind of more avian. As in comparison to the kind of Bazee. So they have the look of are they? No, I'm gonna say they are humanoid, and they're they actually but their skin is gray, and so it looks like it's kind of daubed in something. And they're using what we kind of thought was magic. Is they actually have these kind of like again an arcanic kind of, it's some kind of device, almost like a kind of bazooka or a rocket launcher with kind of gray, kind of muted. It's almost like the kind of Prisma shards, but it's much more muted in its color and its look. And a kind of a gray mist swirling inside it. And they're basically kind of using this thing to emit, essentially it's kind of like a force field as they're trying to bring the ship down. So I think Omax is going to immediately kind of punch the power to see if we can kind of break away from it. So we do. We manage to kind of pull away. But I think it's drained a lot of power from the ship, and we are we're at risk. We're kind of slightly out of control. So I think we are. So we get out of it, but I think they start firing at us, and kind of like trying to capture us back in the hold of this thing again. And we're flying and trying to kind of maneuver around. And I think Eleanor is going to. I think she gets on her a kind of a comm and tries to contact her friend, who is Urza, to ask for their help and tell them what's happening, but call for the support. Okay. So I think just as she's talking to them, and Urza says, I will speak to the tribe, there's a kind of an explosion as the ship is hit, and it kind of falls to the ground, damaged. And there's a cry from people on board as they're kind of thrown sideways. And yeah, I think they kind of these are kind of small ships, kind of equivalent of like a kind of a prop plane with enough seats for a few people. So I think it crashes to the ground, and the I think we have bitten off more than we can chew in terms of trying to rescue. In terms of trying to follow Carnu. So I think that's the first thing we're going to do. Is I think Carnu is at this clearing, and I think we are going to try and grab Carnu and make a break for it towards the Bazee location. So I think Vika is going to try and grab. Well, no, I think Jisan is, or let's see. I think the Mona is going to summon Grova, the Affectionate, and use them to kind of like scoop up Carnu and just make a run for it. So let's see if you do. No, but I think so. They don't manage to grab them. But I think I think Jisan has a like. I think Jisan kind of like pushes elbows past Demon, says there's no time for this, and just summons Varg, who grabs Carnu and turns and runs, because we've got a kind of a no but. So it wasn't Grova who did it, it's Varg. So they're kind of running through the forest, and we're being I think now chased by the Dryans, and yeah, I think they. Well, I don't think we are being chased by the Dryans, because if they actually have apathy, they would let us go. So they. I think we're going to run and we need to do something. So so do we need to pursue them? We need to. So I'm trying to think what's happening in the story right now. So we flew in here after Carnu. We took the Dryans were trying to capture our ship and disable it again. Maybe their powers are, because it's apathy, they're just kind of like shut things down. We grab, so the ship has kind of crashed to the ground. We've grabbed Varg has got Carnu in his mouth. maybe kind of tossed up onto his back, and we're backing away, and I think we turn to Vika and say, do they have anything in their system? Like, do they have knowledge of the Dryans in terms of how do we deal with apathy? So I think they turn to Vika and ask for his help. And Vika says, "I don't. There's nothing in my system, in my records, or in our collective records for dealing with apathy. So I think they are going to just turn and run to try and join with the Z. Let's see if we get there. Okay, so we managed to get there, but I think one of them has been injured, and I'm not going to say which one. So I will say I am running out of time, so I am going to cut that right there, and we'll come back tomorrow morning and continue the next episode of Prisma Arena, or Untold Adventures Await in the Prisma Arena. Take care, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.